In this video, we are going to cover how we book 100 plus sales calls per month for a B2B business without any cold email. Now, first things first, it's not as if I'm necessarily against cold email, but cold email is getting harder these days, and I think that's pretty fair to say. You'll see a lot of people complaining about deliverability. You'll see a lot of people complaining their open rates are really low, it's really saturated, doesn't really work that well. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's saturated. I think it's still, it still works to an extent. I think it's just harder. But in this video, we're going to cover exactly how to do it without cold email. And you might be wondering, how do I know that? Well, my business partner, Matthew Larson, scaled his agency to 900K per month. So we share a lot of insights from that. And my clients here are booking 116 sales calls, 100 sales calls, 50, 150, 50, 85 sales calls per month-ish. We've also got Brandon here scaling to 170K payouts. That's not bad. We've got Colin closing 3 clients in 2 days. Jeremy invoicing 36K just off a few repositions of his lead magnets. We've got Angus booking 10 sales calls per day. We've got Jack booking 94 calls in a little over a month. We've got Milan closing 17K worth of one-off projects just last month, when he started working with us, that was about his monthly revenue. Got Oscar here booking, half a dozen sales calls a day. So we've got people that are booking sales calls at this rate in almost every niche that we've got working with us, not even to mention what we do ourselves. So in this video, what we're going to cover is, number 1, how the top 1% of businesses get sales calls. Number 2, how to make sure you aren't just spamming your calendar full of calls that waste your time. I know that's one of the worst things, is when you're just talking to all these unqualified leads and you feel like you're not even getting anything out of it. And then next, how to convert those clients and eventually upsell them onto larger recurring offers. Because if you're running an agency, you're running any sort of client-based business, you're going to want to get paid on a recurring basis. Next, how to make sure all the things you want to avoid and make sure these results are achievable and not just a pipe dream. Like, I know some people think booking 100 sales calls in a month is just not even a thing that happens in real life, but trust me, it is. We literally have clients do it all the time. And it's not people that are running massive multi-six-figure agencies. These are people that have just figured out their marketing. They're at 40, 50, 60K a month. And then all of a sudden they snap up to 100K a month because they get their marketing figured out. So it's not something that's like made up. This is what's really happening right now in this market. So, if you have limiting beliefs about it, I'd maybe just open your mind and think, how do you even do this? Because that's probably the thing that's going to help you. And then next, I'm also going to show you step-by-step how to build this easiest funnel. This is one of the most simplest and easiest things you can do. I've built this entire video for you to be able to implement it immediately so you can get clients, because that is what is going to help all of us. If you like this video because it makes you so much money, that's good for me. If you make a lot of money, that's good for you. So that's a good deal. So in terms of who this is going to work for, number 1, established businesses and agencies. This is made for B2B, I will say, but it will work for B2C. I do get questions, people saying, hey, is this going to work for B2C? Yes, it will. Ideally, you want some initial proof at the bare minimum. We have clients from 10K a month to 100 mil a year. So it kind of is based on fundamentals. You will be able to get something out of it at any level pretty much. And this is basically, if you were to put it shortly, just how to get clients in 2024, no matter what niche you're in. So basically, there is a lot of BS at the moment. There's, if you look on the ad library or you look on, your social media feeds, there's a lot of people saying, hey, we'll make you 100K or you don't pay, or we'll do this for you or you don't pay, or we'll make you $1 million, or I'll give you my left kidney, etc. And they'll say, XYZ saturated, do this business model, my business model's better, whatever. And that is not what is going to make you money and get you clients consistently, especially if you aren't selling to beginners. Like if you're selling to brand new people that make no money and you want to get monthly retainers of $300, this is a good idea. But really what you want to do is avoid bad actors, because this is probably going to sound a little bit arrogant, but I can't tell you how many times I've had clients come to us and come to me and say, hey, I've literally paid every single agency, I've paid every single consultant. None of them got results, but as soon as I signed up with you, it started working. Like you were the only ones that could crack this. And I want to encourage you to not take that in an arrogant way or in a flex way. That's literally just because you have to avoid listening to the wrong people these days so you can avoid wasting like 10 to 100K on coaching. Like the amount of times people say, I've actually got the screenshots here. I've invested 50K on coaching. This is the best one. I've spent 20K on coaching. This is the best one. I've spent 25K on coaching and courses. This is the best one. And then this one says, I've joined many coaching programs. It's always been good, but never at this level. So this is actually the stuff that works. Like, I know there's a lot of people that say this is the stuff that works, but this is actually the stuff that works. So in terms of the overall strategy, we don't need to beat around the bush too much. Number one, the focus is around paid ads, and you can start with $50 a day, so it's not like you need a huge budget. Number two, you want to reduce the risk on the offer and get specific. We'll talk about how to do that. Number three, you want to write a VSL that is 3 to 5 minutes long and very, very direct. Number four, build out your email flows and content as you go. Number five, you need a pre-call funnel. Number six, you need a productized intro offer. Productized meaning you can deliver it the exact same way as you scale. And then number seven, you want to shoot for the upsell in 14 to 30 days or add to long-term follow-ups. So what you're looking at here, can I make this bigger? I can. So what you're looking at here is the funnel you want to use is just a simple ad to a simple VSL to a simple book a call with a simple thank you page. Then you want to have a pre-call flow, which is not, it's not revolutionary information to do a pre-call flow. Then you can do these things in the pre-call flow. So send to socials, show proof, give them context on what you do, and then suggest they go over the pre-call content and sign them up for your newsletter. Then you're going to a sales call. Then you're going to a productized intro offer. Then you're upselling them to a recurring offer. So in terms of the paid ads are going to rely on your offer, and your success is going to rely on your offer. Again, this is not revolutionary, but it is that simple. You can mess around with ads, media buying, UGC, pretty much everything. But if your offer sucks, your ads are going to suck and everything's going to be way harder. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't got a good offer or you're not sure about your offer, go to my channel, go watch this video, the only type of offer you need in 2024. That's going to help you out with that. The TLDR here is that you don't need to target a massive outcome as long as it's an easy ROI. So a lot of people are trying to increase the amount of value they deliver in order to make their stuff more valuable. But the thing here is that the actual value and the level of no-brainer of the offer is created by the gap between the risk and the reward. So I'll say that again. The value of the offer and how much of a no-brainer it is created by the gap between the risk and the reward. So people like to say, if you had a Ferrari for 10K, you would buy it. That's still high ticket, but it's still like, that's a big risk relatively with 10K and a big reward because you get a Ferrari. But if you have a $3 pizza, that's still a no-brainer because you're looking at it and saying, hey, there's a very low risk, but the reward's like, it's not a Ferrari, but it's still a decent reward, like a pizza. It's the gap that makes it a no-brainer. I'm used to paying this much for a pizza. I'm used to paying $20. But if I can get one for $3, that gap being so huge proportionally makes it such a good deal. That's not to say that you need to charge low for your services, but it's just a little bit of a reframe on what makes something a no-brainer. So what you want to do is focus on something specific, like a specific KPI or conversion rate. You want to make it as low risk as possible, and you'll be able to see how to do that in this video. And then make it delivered fast. So in 7 to 21 days, you want to go for an upsell. So you want to make sure that you can deliver this offer pretty quickly. And some formats you can use for this offer, for example, a 2 to 5K setup with a guaranteed result. So an email flow setup guaranteeing an increase in Klaviyo flow output. You might do a free trial for 14 to 30 days. We've had great success with this, booking really cheap calls. I've got a video about that on my channel as well, should you do free work. Number 3 is an audit with a guaranteed result. So an example of this would be, we'll find 3 areas of improvement and get you XYZ ROI. You can charge money for this. So you can charge like $500 to $2,000 for an audit if you have a good track record. So if you've worked with really big companies in your industry, you can charge people for an audit. If not, probably just better to do it for free. Wouldn't get too crazy because really, like the trade-off is people that pay you are obviously going to be more committed. People that don't pay you are going to be less committed, but you're going to get more of them. So it's just a sliding scale about what you want to do there. And then number 4 is some sort of mid-ticket thing. So $500 to $1,500, like, for example, an audit, a deliverability fix, a custom lead list, some sort of email flow build, reactivating their database and winning dead deals for them. This stuff works damn well right now. So it's really that people just don't want to take on risk. It's worse to lose right now than it is good to win. if that makes sense. So people are more interested in not getting screwed than they are in reaching crazy results. So what I've seen is that crazy results are good at times, like they're very specific section of the market that isn't necessarily the upper echelon of the market, is interested in like crazy results and crazy, dream outcomes and claims. But the really, the part of the market that becomes a really great client, usually they're interested in offers like this. So it works really well. Like I said, when you're running your ads, you only need to start with $50 a day. The reality is, if it doesn't work at $50 a day, there's no way it's going to work at $500 a day. So if you go on the internet and there's a guru saying you need to start with $500 a day and spend, I don't know if I need to tell you about that. Just start small, test your stuff, and then if it works, scale it. If it doesn't work, cut it, test something else. Really, really easy. Realistically, if you're running an agency or anything with like high ticket monthly recurring revenue, so like a consultancy or something, you only need 15 to 20 super qualified calls per month to be scaling well anyway. Like you don't want I know I said 100 plus calls. You almost don't want 100 plus calls because if you're onboarding 5 really, really, really good brands or 5 really, really, really good clients every single month, you'd probably be pretty stoked with that. And then obviously you can book 100 plus calls if you want to scale it. Once it's working, that is. So next up is the ad creative structure. So we've been using video ads for this type of funnel. Usually what it looks like is a hook plus an audience call out. So, that might be stop wasting time for your agency, or stop wasting, some sort of hook, and then you include the audience within that hook. Next, you want to then just say the direct offer. So whatever your offer is, so XYZ for your agency, direct offer, we will get you XYZ result. Then you just go into proof. So something like, how can we make a claim like that? Here's our results. Then explain the offer. So what I mean by that is just going through, here's what we do to make that result happen, X, Y, and Z. Really, really quick though. So you want this to be 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Then do a first CTA. So just say, if you're interested in this, book a call. Then do a kind of loop and then reduce the risk. So you say something like, and remember, this is guaranteed, or remember, this is free, no issue at all, and remind them why it's a no-brainer. Then go for the second CTA. That is literally all you need to do. You could record that right now sitting at your desk or wherever you're watching this. You could literally just speak this format and record that as an ad and launch it for $50 a day with zero targeting, which I'll talk about in a second, and it would outperform most stuff that gurus say to do. But what I want you to do is make 5 to 10 of these, even 3 is fine, and then set them up in their own ad campaign and then spend at least $50 on each and see which ones are the winners. And then make 5 to 10 new versions that are more similar to the winners, and then repeat that process at least 3 times before stopping. If you can do that and it doesn't work, then you can say, okay, probably my offer needs to change. But if you do this, it's likely to work, especially when you use broad targeting. So something you'll want to know is that media buying is kind of a scam these days. Not fully a scam. You can still do well with specific stuff. But if you're a beginner and you don't know anything about it and you've never run paid ads, like, you don't need to use targeting. If you've done a lot of paid ad stuff before, you have high expertise, obviously just do whatever targeting works for you specifically. But it's one of those things where you have to test it specifically for your offers and your company and your niche, etc. So the easiest thing to do is just start with broad. And then as long as your audience is called out in the ad, your leads will be as qualified as they can be. So as qualified as they can be, I mean, no matter what you do, you're going to get a ton of unqualified leads. So you just want to maximize as best you can to make sure that the people that come through are as qualified as possible, despite being unqualified. And this is a picture from one of our ad accounts. We've got $4 CPLs. I believe that's AUD, $130 AUD per schedule. That's per call. So you can get some decent stats. I think $4 AUD is like $2 USD. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. If you can do that, you're probably happy. And what you want to do is send the ads to a basic book a call page with the VSL. So if the offer is good, you will not need more than that. You just have to have a headline that sells a result. You can build this on literally anything, Webflow, ClickFunnels, doesn't matter one bit. And if you can't be bothered, just pay someone from Upwork to do it, like make your website for $100. And you can literally just say, hey, copy this website. I'll give you $100. Super easy. Make your VSL and you're good to go. Then what you want to do is include some proof below. I need to remind myself to add some outcome headlines. So for example, Angus went from 6K to 60K a month. Brian went from 0 to 30K a month. Matt went from 0 to 900K a month. Max doubled his business in 79 days. Like, you want to have the headlines here, so that's a mess up by us. Then after they book a call, send them to a thank you page with a pre-call VSL. Tell them you'll send them resources and they should watch out for them, and then show them a document that overviews what you do, and request they go over it to save time, just to make sure everyone has context going into the call. So you want to say, hey, go through this document because it will save us time when we get on the call. Everyone's going to have context. We're not going to need to ask any basic questions. We can just jump straight into strategy. If you frame it that way, it's much more likely that they'll go through it because they want to save time. If you just say, go read our documents, read our sales stuff, they're not going to want to read it. But if you pitch it as saving time, the uptake of it is way higher. That will give them any relevant info and disqualify people who aren't a fit. So that's going to save you a bit of time there. And again, keep it really short, 3 to 5 minutes, just to make sure people watch it. I've tested really, really long VSLs here and really long priming information. It just doesn't get watched, doesn't get read. And then also what you can do is on this thank you page, if you can't be bothered doing any of this stuff, you can just send them directly to an overview document, whether that's a PDF, Gamma, Google Doc, whatever. Then in that pre-call flow, what you want to do is set this up in Calendly. I believe there's tutorials about how to do that on Matthew Larson's channel. Then you can just send them an overview of what you do. You can send them your best YouTube videos. You can send them whatever proof you have, and you can add them to your newsletter. Again, this is around here in that graphic I showed earlier. Then ideally, you're going to close probably 30% of those people because it's a great offer. And once you close them on that offer, remember our whole goal with this is to get cash in the door. So close them for 2 to 5K or close them for something, get them on an audit, whatever. Deliver as fast as possible, get wins ASAP in 24 to 48 hours, even if it's just smaller wins like delivering a lead list or the first batch of concepts for their ads. Whatever your service is, the point here is to show them that you're working and show them that you are legit and show them how trustworthy you are and how you are different from all the other agencies or all the other people they've worked with. Because that is why they have to go through the intro offers, because they have to see how legit you are and how good you are. Then give them 2 Loom updates in the first 7 to 14 days. Because again, that's just going to show them how proactive you are, how trustworthy you are, how good of a business you are running. And then what you want to do is ask them what their plan for the thing is going forward and begin a conversation for an ongoing retainer. So obviously this has, a lot more to this in the upsell, and that's why we have things like our paid stuff is for going over that. But when you ask them what their plan is for their paid ads or their email, that basically opens up the conversation about their current situation. And because you have the trust built up already, they're going to have a bit more of a vulnerable conversation with you compared to on a sales call where they're protecting their interests a little bit on a sales call versus if you're just talking in Slack, they're already a client and you're discussing, hey, what are you doing for email marketing at the moment? What are you doing for XYZ going forward? Yada, yada, yada. Then you can begin a conversation about what you have to offer them later. Hopefully that makes sense. If they aren't in a position to buy right now a recurring offer, which will be a good percentage of them, what you can do is just keep them in Slack, keep contact with them, add them to your email list. They'll be watching your content, hopefully if you've got content, and then you can upsell them later because they're probably going to trust you a lot if you do this the right way. So they're going to trust you. You can probably get them on something. 10 to 30% of people who buy the intro offer will eventually buy the recurring offer. So it's a pretty decent deal. Next, some stuff that's going to help you while you're doing this. So 1 to 2 YouTube videos per week, absolutely essential. If you don't know how to do YouTube, just come up with 50 frequently asked questions. A great example is my last video. Should you do free work to get clients? Just speak to the camera or just do a Loom, do a Gamma presentation about, hey, here's my answer to this frequently asked question. Here's why you should listen to me. Pretty simple. The next thing is the more case studies you have, the better. So if you have great clients, you have clients that are happy with you, just do an interview with them, even just get them to do a review. That's always going to help more. And then next is testing offers on the front end. So nothing works forever. So you'd rather find something yourself than copy someone else's thing. It's really important to do that. Like if you're just copying shit that's already worked, a lot of the times it's just going to fatigue the offer. So you want to kind of find something a little bit unique that you can run yourself. And then next, having lead magnet ad campaigns running at the same time always helps to push people down the funnel and scale into different demographics. Because with a book a call funnel, the reality is there's only a certain amount of people that in your market that are going to convert for that. So it does become difficult to scale a campaign like that especially if you don't have lead magnet ad campaigns running at the same time, because the lead magnet ad campaigns, like I said, they appeal to a bit of a broader audience. Get those people in your funnel, accelerate that journey a little bit, and you can push them towards your book a call funnel. And then the last one, if you have a good newsletter, it's the same as basically having lead magnet ads or having a great YouTube channel. You're just constantly pushing people further down the funnel by having more and more content that helps you just get more and more wins. So that works really, really well. The one thing I would say here is the one way you can guarantee to get 0 clients is to do nothing. Remember, the whole point of this is that you take action and print. So what I want you to do now, go forth and conquer. If you want some more daily free insights, go to theacquisitionletter.com. I mail that list every single day with red hot stuff and unlisted trainings. Actually, right before I recorded this video, I recorded a private free training for theacquisitionletter.com. So go check that out. And if you want me to help write your ads, make your VSLs, make your offer, and make your upsell processes, go to 1000xleads.com and book a call. So that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you have a good one, and ciao.